All right, ladies and gents, I put on a shirt to do this shit. This is a response video to a failed Twitter troll. That's the best I can describe this. That is the absolute best description I can give for this video because that's exactly what it is. If you can't, I'm covering it up. It says asking Carl Benjamin a question makes his friends mad. This video went from bad to worse, and you'll be able to see it because we're going to be responding to the whole thing because it's kind of funny. He starts off with a tweet from Lawrence Fox, of all places. So let's go ahead and see what he has to say.
I did the little test today. Lawrence Fox tweeted out a tweet, and it has like a horrible, disturbing video.
Yes,
and I'll
please
just
show
share it
us.
with you now.
Well,
So it's got that guy there running away. Someone shouting, "Run for your life."
normal.
This is London.
Absolutely
There's two
normal
officers.
for
There's one black
civilization.
officer and one white officer. Something's been thrown. A kid on a Boris bike, whatever they call now.
On a Boris
These are all kids.
Yeah,
And they all sound very London. There's some kids on scooters. Oh, look, this is Parliament Square. That was Whitehall.
So
Right,
he
so
knows
that's
where this is
it.
happening.
Lawrence Fox tweeted, "So pleased that Sadiq Khan has got his priorities as Mayor of London sorted. The climate crisis is definitely the biggest problem facing London." But Carl Benjamin, who you might remember ran for fun, I believe, for a laugh, and a bit of a troll for UKIP, to be a UKIP.
Can confirm it. It was very fun. I was there at the time. It was a good time. It was freaking hilarious. Blast was held by all who participated. Believe you me. Anyways, back to the video.
Candidate got virtually nowhere. He
Well,
tweeted,
he got somewhere.
he
He got
reposted
milkshakes,
that,
but meh.
and here it is. "Why are any of these cackling hyenas even in this country?" he said.
Why indeed? Why indeed are people in London? Do they look British? And we'll let this man just completely out himself, as it were.
Now, I sort of thought, well, okay, I know a dog whistle when I see one, and I'm not impressed at all by what these guys are doing. The terrorism that seems to be getting some.
Is it the dog whistle or the terrorism that gets you? Please clarify. I'm. That was a. Could you please grow up? I mean, seriously. Which offended you more, the actual terrorism or Carl Benjamin's alleged dog whistle? Please pick one. Just saying.
Supported by pro-Palestinian by supporters in the UK is astonishing to me. I don't think they realise that's what they're doing. I don't think they agree that Hamas are terrorists and all that. But they are. They're
Okay. We're going to address a few things. He's bringing up Palestine, but Lawrence Fox is addressing the crisis from Sadiq Khan. This altercation in the video, he knows, is probably related to the whole Palestine issue. And Carl Benjamin's question is not, why is this happening? The question is, who are these people and why are they here? And he's going on about Palestine. Okay. Just to show you how this guy's jumping around. It's
they're defined as that, and the definition of the word explains that they are that. So we've got lots of people sort of getting a bit high and mighty about what's happening in Gaza. Carl Benjamin's tweeting out about this video, which I presume it's got something to do with that. I don't know. There's a guy. I don't know why he's been chased. I don't know if he's Jewish. I don't know if he's just a guy. I don't know what the reason is. It's not explained.
Matter. That's the point.
But why are these cackling hyenas even in the country? I think he's referring because they're all black kids, right? Who are chasing him, right? So I sort of said, what country?
Before we even get on to the rest of that, they're black kids. Whether they're black, Palestinian, why are they there? But we'll get into this. Good God.
Should they be in, Carl? Right? Because they definitely got like Londony accents.
So you asked,
and this is the reply. Now the thing is, what you got to remember is Carl has lots of people who follow him and think he's great, and they listen to what he says because what he says is kind of like a very sort of eloquent way of expressing their views.
It's a successful
and who are they?
Yes.
Well, I wanted to find out, so I did this deliberate tweet here to see what people would say in response. Okay. And quite a few, 22 comments so far. One from an account I blocked, but I don't know why I blocked him, really. It's not really, he didn't really say anything too. I'll unblock him.
You're a classic
snowflake. I just blocked him because he was... I don't know why I blocked him. But wherever Grandad came from, wherever Grandad came from, this isn't the world toilet.
Hang on. Hang on. You didn't block him because... he was the first comment. In fact, you tell us first comment below. Brave anonymous account block lol. You didn't block him because he was the first responder. You blocked him because he wasn't the person you could attack. It's that simple. He wasn't putting his real name. He wasn't putting his real face up there. It was an anonymous account, and you couldn't make juice out of him and make mincemeat out of him the way that cancel culture is accustomed you to doing. That's why you blocked. And you outed yourself in the first comment below, which is your comment was literally brave anonymous account block. That's why you blocked him. It's right there on the screen. So, no, you didn't block him for no reason. You blocked him because you couldn't make a victim out of it. Stunning and brave.
Anonymous account. That was the first. I think I blocked it because it was the first response. I don't think there'd be any more. But since then, there's been a few. Oh, what's going on here?
It's so full of shit.
Oh, what's this? Right, so somebody's tweeting that GIF. They should be on the African continent, says one person. Wakanda, says Wadders. The English loyalist says Africa or wherever they came from. These are like teenager kids or like 20-something kids in London, from London. Anywhere but here.
They're 20-year-old kids.
What about maybe their own country?
Why not their own country?
One of the Negro countries, of course, where they can be spiritual and not corrupted by the evil white man.
Why not? Give me your reasoning for why this should not be the case. Go on.
Says Spook Slither. This is Superman dressed up like an Egyptian.
It's better.
Or something. I don't know. Israel, he says. Atlantis, they should be in your house. You can look after
why
them.
Not?
Are they implying that these are migrants then? Israel. Obviously, brown people land.
That they're migrants.
So this is somebody who's kind of Carl's argument is basically an intellectualized version of Go Back to Africa. Yeah, well, I mean, pretty much. It's definitely bizarre to assume that they're not from this country. I just didn't understand. Pick any African country, choice all yours. Their home country, Craig. Palestine, says the troll. Anywhere but here. People like you are the problem. I'm the problem. Because you are the reason gremlins are running riot in the streets. This is what a tame hand and an open society creates. Israel. Heard Kenya are giving free visas to any black people, so that's the start. You
It's
have one
wonderful.
like, mate. Does anyone watch your rubbish videos?
Well,
Maybe the
I
reason Carl
apologize
is
for
doing so
exposing you
well
to his
is he
videos.
tells the truth about these things instead of defending the horde that would maim you in the street.
There's the lie.
Visibility limited. This post may have violated X's rules. Oh, I'm afraid to view it.
Click it.
Africa.
You see, folks.
We've seen it.
Oh,
shit. Maybe the reason Carl is doing.
Hang on. Hang on. Let's replay that. Yes. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a classic case of fuck around, find out. He asked the question. Reasonable people went into the answer. This is exactly what he was looking for. This is exactly what he wanted. And now we're going to get into some self-victimization. My God, this is.
Sure, if they think this is designed to upset people, this is what Carl is attracting.
No. They're not doing this to upset people. See, that's the completely wrong mentality. They're not doing this to upset anyone.
These are the quality of people that Carl attracts who make him successful. This is who he's taking the money from. I got no beef necessarily with anybody making money. I kind of do have a little beef with dog whistling, and if we see it on any side, if it be Ash Sakar to Carl Benjamin, it should be flagged. And I just thought that was an interesting little exercise just to show you. If you don't know Carl Benjamin, he's known as Sargon of Akkad. He's the guy who wrote that tweet about that said I wouldn't even R-word you to Jess Phillips. That was his.
Yes, but as we've clarified later, there's not enough beer. Just saying, guys.
Joke, and then he was being interviewed and told everyone he was a comedian, and he isn't. So he's a grifter. He doesn't like these people who are messaging me. He doesn't. They're all they're all supporting him. He can't stand them. He wouldn't hang out with them. They're not intellectuals like he is. He's a highbrow. He likes to think.
Sir, have you met Callum? I'm sorry. I should not have said that. But the idea that Carl Benjamin despises his audience, that is the most brain dead take I've ever heard. Honestly, watch and listen to the Lotus Eaters and the people that Carl surrounds himself with. Oh, Secretary of Akkad, I'm sorry, but you are not the leather sofa smoking cigar kind of dude, and yet here you are prominently featured on Lotus Eaters. I'm sorry, but the idea that Sargon of Akkad, that Carl Benjamin holds in contempt, holds his audience in contempt, it's the biggest farce I've ever heard. This is that is beyond the pale of this is a smear merchant. This is a failed small time smear merchant. As you can see, I disliked this video because of course I would. It's only got so many views. Guys, go dislike this. Just if you find this video, just completely rate it. He fucking deserves it. I'm good lord. Okay. That is one hell of a take.
He wants to sit in leather chairs like this and smoke fat cigars and drink sherry. He doesn't want to hang out with these louts. but they're the
literally
ones
hangs
funding
out
him.
with
It's
them
fantastic.
every day.
Anyway, I wanted to share
He
that
hangs
just
out
to
with them
show you a little
every
bit of
day.
the dirt that surrounds these people. There's people are on the surface, and they are doing dog whistling like that, and they will talk around what they actually want to. They will not be direct in what they want to say.
I'm sorry, but asking why these hyenas are even there seems pretty direct to me. Maybe it's just me, though. Maybe I'm the crazy one. But to me, that's why these hyenas are even here. It seems like a pretty direct message.
And but then they'll go to other places where they can be a little bit more direct. I mean, if you don't believe me, look, I kind of also did this. Here's I saved this up.
Oh, please show me what you've done. Please tell me this is not pick and pull. Okay,
from a long time ago.
This.
Breaking: Sargon of Akkad, Carl Benjamin's reaction to Jewish children and families being brutally murdered and attacked. Let's have a listen to this. Let's play it.
Really?
What we have to do is prevent ourselves from becoming hyper emotional about this. Because I see this all the time. People at least signaling that, oh, I was crying all day, every day.
We're too emotional about what happened to all those Jewish kids and those families that when the terrorists went door to door and slaughtered them. We're being too emotional about it.
Like, this is terrible. This is the worst thing. You didn't even know these people. All right, you didn't know anything. Now you're just scared and confused because something terrible has happened. But unless you know those people, that's not a personal tragedy to you. Okay? Don't tell me that you think it is. I don't believe you.
Right. So that. It's not true that he's actually talking about Israel there. What he is talking about.
Okay. So it's not true that he's talking about Israel. And yet you titled the tweet Breaking Pod Reaction to Jewish Children and Families Being Brutally Murdered and Attacked. That is what you titled. That's what you titled the tweet. But you just admitted on your video that you're full of shit. So let's go into detail, and he's going to show us the original context. He's outing himself. Admirable, brave, stunning. But he's admitting that the tweet he sent out was misleading. That he was being a dirty smear merchant. Okay, let's take this going forward.
About is this? I'll play the whole thing. Now, actually,
what we have to do.
What he's actually talking about 51 Muslims who were murdered, and he's saying that you don't know them, so don't pretend you care. That's what he's saying. And then he's talking the terrorist who killed those Muslims at the Christchurch, New Zealand, is it?
So this was the New Zealand attack.
He wrote a manifesto which included a lot of these like right wingers, YouTubers. Well, it included a lot of them. I don't know. I haven't read it, but it was said that there were some people who are popular on YouTube who are on the right, who he was being inspired by. Let's listen to this.
Yeah, and it's fallacious to say that the people. Yeah, the point of this was because not everyone he cited would have. He did. Are you? Of course, you're intentionally missing that point. Of course, you are.
This video a little bit longer.
Because you're a dirty smear merchant.
Prevent ourselves from becoming hyper emotional about this. Because I see this all the time.
He talks about the manifesto in a minute.
Oh, I was crying all day, every day. Like, this is terrible. This is the worst thing. You didn't even know any of these people. All right? You didn't know anything. Now you're just scared and confused because something terrible has happened. But unless you know those people, that's not a personal tragedy to you. Okay? Don't tell me that you think it is. I don't believe you.
Just to point on that, there's not a lot of truth in what he's saying. There's ever decreasing circles of caring about what happens. If you hear about somebody's been shot in America, you might go, "Oh, that's terrible." You won't feel anything. It won't affect you in any other way, and you'll forget about it immediately. But if somebody's been shot at the end of your road and it gets closer to your own world, then you'll suddenly be a little bit more affected by it. You might get a little bit.
So TLDR, he's admitting that Sargon is right. Carl Benjamin said nothing wrong in the video. It wouldn't have mattered if it was about Israeli children or about the people at Christchurch, the context can be applied equally the same. He's not wrong there. But then you go back and admit that Carl's point is on point. Okay. All right. As I said, this is a
You'll
failed
probably get
smear
maybe
attempt.
you'll make you feel a little bit shaky. If you actually witness it firsthand, you'll be like you'll need counselling.
Yeah, but no
So
one did.
there is ever
That's the
decreasing
point.
circles of care that we have about what stuff we care about. So there's that part of what you're saying is true.
You're
But
proving
when
his
it happened
point.
in Israel, it was different because we've seen it before. We've
How?
seen this before. And it was an unprovoked attack. There was nothing that had happened in the immediate time to provoke it. It was a totally surprise attack, and it revealed a lot of truth.
Are you saying that the Christchurch shooting was provoked? That's a brave position, sir. It's like what happened in Israel was different because unlike the terrorists in Christchurch, Israel, what happened in Israel was completely unprovoked, ladies and gentlemen. It was a brave take.
To us that essentially they don't really want to fight people with guns. They just want to go. They just want to eradicate Jewish people, and we've seen it before. So
Guy who went into the Christchurch mosque didn't just want to eradicate Muslims. He is this retarded.
it is actually shocking, and people are seriously.
Look, I'm not here to defend Muslims. I just need to I just need to get that out there in the air. I'm not defending Muslims. I just don't understand how he feels that Carl's response to the Christchurch shooting of a mosque, which apparently he feels was provoked in some way, is somehow different to the unprovoked attack from Hamas to Israel. Some someone please help me make sense of this man's logic.
Affected by it. If you were Jewish, you'd be affected by it. If it was
If you were Jewish, sure, maybe, possibly. Gotcha.
Scottish people being dragged out of their houses, I'd be like quaking in my boots a little bit about that. So he's talking rubbish in that respect, or if anyone who says that is talking rubbish in that respect. But he's saying that Muslims aren't bothered because he thinks that
Nowhere did he say Muslims aren't bothered. He's not talking to Muslims. Do you think he's talking to Muslims? Do you think that this British man who's fighting for British nationality is addressing Muslims?
everyone isn't. Everyone who complains about these things, I don't know what he believes. But he posted that. Let's see what he says about this manifesto. The terrorist wrote a manifesto.
There is no reason to lose our heads over this. All of the things that he's talking about in the manifesto, I'm afraid they just can't be dismissed. They're not things that aren't happening.
Yeah.
They aren't things that aren't real. And so we do need to talk about these things, which is why I'm preparing a video to talk about his manifesto, which I guess YouTube will probably just take me off the platform for.
Look how he feels like that he's totally unjustified to have that happen. I've just demonstrated about the thread of messages that I got for asking a simple question about what country should they go back to. That's all I asked. I didn't give any information about myself or my opinions about.
Sir, I don't think I should have to point out the obvious difference between you fucking around and finding out to someone who took a perspective and isn't even given the courtesy of a response, of interaction, of feedback. That's a completely different dynamic between you posting your shit and getting reacted to someone who is denied the interaction and denied the feedback of what society around him also thinks. That's the difference, asshole. I don't know if you obviously don't care. I think you're a disingenuous prick at this point. But there's a significant difference between getting your comeuppance in the sense of the community around you that you entered of your own free will and volition and then got feedback from them. There's a significant difference between that and being denied the access, the feedback, and the overall uh, resonance, the feel, um, the atmosphere of those around you. There's a difference between social interaction and social isolation. Why you need that explained to you is probably why you're not as popular as you think you should be.
About it. And look at all the dirge of just numpties messaging me with their like
It was a response you literally fucking asked
racism. They should go back to Africa. No, they've no idea. So they're just like seeing people with different color skin, and they're jumping to and they're saying, "Oh, they're not British. They can't be."
for. Okay, even you, when you watched the video, noticed that they were darker, that they were not of British descent. You yourself, you almighty racist. Continue.
British. It's racism. It's and I don't use that word flippantly because I know a lot of people do.
Yeah, you
And
did.
if he makes videos like that, Carl is essentially those are the people he's making the video for. They don't know any of this stuff. They don't know how, to have it all put in a succinct way, the way he's doing it. And he
know
believes
what.
all this sort of thing. He doesn't. He'll look at what I say and just think I'm an idiot, right? I get that
You
because
are an idiot.
and he thinks he's a centrist as well. He doesn't. I don't think it's very interesting. It's very interesting because I'm not sure. I haven't looked to see what he tweeted out when that Israeli attack happened, but I don't think it was of the spirit of we don't know them. We shouldn't care. I also then sort of flagged.
Okay, so are you going to show us what he said when it happened? Are you? Oh, look, it's another.
Flagged out. This is a tweet I wrote earlier, which is getting zero traction. According to Wikipedia,
Dude, if all of your content is like this, no traction is what you deserve.
Carl helped launch Hearts of Oak with Tommy Robinson, who, oh look, Calvin Robinson. There's Hearts of Oak. Look, you can't really read it. There's
What's wrong with
Calvin
Tommy?
Robinson there.
Whoa, whoa, sir. If you have a problem with a man like Calvin Robinson, the problem is you. Calvin Robinson is not what I would call a real man.
Hearts of Oak is a organization that are.
They like
I
Britishness.
can't click it today. Go look it up yourself. So he organised that. But he's operating with Tommy Robinson, and Tommy Robinson, and this is horrific. I think it's really kind of
Okay, so we've gone from fucking around and finding out on a tweet with Carl Benjamin, getting the response you asked for. You then admitted to showing a video of Sargon claiming that it was in response to the Israeli-Palestine conflict, and then later admitting that it actually wasn't. And now we're jump frogging to Sargon's association or Carl's association with Tommy Robinson, whom I presume he's on good relations with because they did found Parts of Oak together. I probably butchered that name. But yeah, what is up with this video? Like he's obviously jumping around, trying to make something stick, to make Carl look as radical as and as bad as humanly possible. And it's just pathetic. It's so
threatening.
bad.
Meanwhile, his friend Tommy Robinson proposed an English Defence League reunion, EDL reunion. Here's Tommy Robinson. Look, has it got volume?
Defence League reunion. Which city shall we hit? Put your comments underneath. We're coming back with a bang.
Keep me laughing.
Just when you thought you got rid of us.
You know what I mean? It's like you can always imagine the Joker doing that in a Batman movie.
Imagine the Joker. Okay, you might not be in on the joke. So let me give you a little comedy on this. Joke about this isn't that Tommy Robinson is coming back in the wake of Israel attacks because it's suddenly popular to be anti-Semite. No, no, no. Um, Tommy Robinson was actually funded by Israel. That's why this is funny. Tommy Robinson and the EDL actually went out of their way to kick the ass out of skinheads that had joined the English Defense League. That's the joke. That's what's actually hilarious for those of you who actually did or didn't know. But this asshole's not going to tell you that. This prick is not going to tell you about Tommy Robinson's history and why he's excited and why he would choose this time of all times to reignite the EDL because, well, being a pessimistic a-hole that I am, I might say that maybe some funding's being sent Tommy Robinson's way. I don't know that. That's pure speculation. Don't quote me on it. It's not real. It's just in the mind. It's just me in my conspiracy brain putting dots together that may or may not be there. But knowing some of Tommy Robinson's history and the kind of man that he is, a good man, by the way, that's probably the real reason. But this individual is going to make you think otherwise. He's going to try and twist it into something else.
A video like that, it's definitely, that is not the good guy. You're not seeing the good guy there at all.
You have no idea. You clearly have no idea.
That is my video. It's a little. It fits into my channel because it's media. For me, it is. This is what's happening in media because this has not been covered in the media.
Because it's a nothing burger. It's you stirring up shit on Twitter that's not catching on. That's what this is. This is your personal insert on the internet. That's all this is.
We're not seeing anything about it. And I'm ranting a little bit about it on Twitter, but I'm not getting any traction. I don't really know why, but we're definitely seeing a rise in the extreme left. We're seeing Jews being chased down streets. We're seeing and being attacked. We're seeing people being barricaded into libraries with students banging in the door supporting.
Pause the video and wipe your eye. Good God.
Palestine. And we're seeing calls of genocide for Jews. It's a pretty bad state of affairs.
There have been calls for Jewish genocide since at least 1936. No, I'm sorry. Earlier than that, actually. There have been calls for Jewish genocide since the Roman Empire. God, I love the Roman Empire meme.
And it makes me extremely sad. And I'm sitting here and I'm super annoyed with what's...
Are you even slightly Jewish? Does this affect you personally? In all seriousness, do you go... anything? Is there anything in your immediate life that gives you credence to care? Honestly.
What's happening on the left with regard to all that, and all the people you thought were a little bit more central politically, a bit more moderate, are all coming out supporting Palestine. Of course, the question is, how many people in Palestine support Hamas? I mean, because, you know, food and water and all that. And the way that children and the vulnerable are weaponized, like, oh, we mustn't...
Again, you don't know any of these people. And you are sitting in a first world nation, speculating, ruminating about paradigms that for you that they're not even remotely close to your sphere of influence or your sphere of experience. You just admitted you don't know, and yet you want us to think about this ourselves when no one here has any answers.
What hurt anybody there because they're vulnerable people? It's like they use them as human shields. It feels like that. And kids don't know anything.
Yes, we know that kids don't know anything. However, the real question is, what the hell does this have to do with Sargon of Akkad, Benjamin, pointing out why are these hyenas even here? Why are they in your country? Why are they in London? How did they get there? Why do you tolerate the terrorism? You admitted earlier that this was terrorism. You admitted to it. You said you allegedly don't approve of it, but you apparently have a problem with other people looking at this and thinking, I'd really rather not. So why'd you make the video? You didn't do it for Palestine. You didn't do it for the innocent children. You didn't do it for for the Jews apparently who were gunned down home to home. This.
But how many people there actually support what Hamas is doing? It should be quite easy to work out, well, not all of them.
Really?
I mean, when people say that, it's just so annoying, isn't it? Exactly how much are we talking about? We're talking 80.
Okay. Go ahead and look up the videos of Hamas-run kindergartens in Gaza. Just take a as to what that looks like in Gaza. What are children being trained to do and believe from the age of kindergarten in Gaza because they are ruled by Hamas? And then try to estimate yourself how many people stand with Hamas.
80%. Because if 80% do, it's a problem, isn't it? And how do we help those 20%? Then we only need to focus on helping the 20%. Are they going to let 20%? They're going to see them as traitors, aren't they? They're not going to let them out.
Okay. Let's just finish this up here. We got about 30 more seconds.
Anyway, I don't really want to get into a big Gaza debate. I just wanted to flag how it works and what a rogue I think Carl Benjamin is.
A rogue?
So, I hope the media will start picking up on the fact that the rise of the right is happening, and I'm not happy.
Yes, the rise of the right is happening because people like you have no answers. And people like you look at the people with answers and you shit on them because the answers are not palatable to whatever guides your inner moral compass, which you clearly don't know what it is. You clearly have no idea what it is you believe or why you believe it. You have no idea how to address the issues that are not only happening in the Middle East, you don't know how to address the terrorism happening in your own nation. You have no clue. You have no idea, but you are, and your Twitter's dead set on quote unquote exposing the far right, but you offer no solutions. And that, sir, is the most telling of all of the fact that you are nothing more than a dirty, dirty smear merchant.